Okay, anyways, we actually have quite a lot to get through, so yeah. So you guys can try that at home. Okay, so CSS. Do you guys remember what the Google people talk about in terms of CSS? What is CSS? Talk to your neighbors, and then I'll ask each group. Coming over. All right. So, Roma, what's CSS?
It's like basically a list of tags that you can use to make your website look better.
Not quite. Not quite. But right idea. Right idea. Okay. Connor.
Yeah, basically cascading style sheets, and then you use it with HTML to make the fonts, the colors, and all the various things that's within the style.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Yeah, good job. Good job. Show your end. What's CSS?
It's basically a designing tool for websites.
I guess? Sure. That's a good enough answer for me. Okay. But basically CSS, it's an entirely different language, because when computer scientists were working with HTML, they realized that it looks really boring. All we have are just larger text, smaller text, sometimes we'll have a link in the middle, but we want to make it colorful, we want to make it engaging. So they created an entirely different language called CSS to help them make that possible. So a lot of people consider HTML and CSS one language, because you really can't use one without the other, especially CSS. CSS is useless without HTML. So, yeah, okay, so it's a language that allows us to give roles to HTML elements. And then two very important HTML tag attributes. So, do you guys know what are tag attributes? Can somebody give me an example? You guys can talk amongst yourselves and then I'll ask.
I know, we say HTML and CSS.
That are in the actual thing, paragraphs.
It's awfully quiet.
It's so like you type in something right, and what are you going to make it? You're going to make it header or a paragraph. So that's the attribute.
All right, I'm going to come over. All right, so let's see. My tool. Give me an example of an attribute, of a tag attribute. If you need help, ask people. Okay, it's okay, because you can't really do much there. Yeah.
It's like a function that connects a CSS file to an HTML file.
That's what an attribute can do. That's on the right track of thinking, but it's not quite what an attribute is. But I like that. All right. Anybody here? Trisha, what do you think an attribute is? Hey, I like that. That's good. That's good. No, tell her. Trisha, what is it?
He said it's like something that separates stuff together.
Okay, that's getting close. That's getting close, but not quite. Let me just try to illustrate this for you. So, we've got a tag here. Let's call it, let's use the P tag. So we've got a tag here. So we can actually give it a lot of characteristics and ways for us to identify. We can give it a link, we can give it a certain ID, we can give it a class, we can give it styling, we can give it all kinds of things. So all of these things that I just listed out, those are attributes. So character traits of this tag. So for example, you can have class. Oh geez, you can't see that very well, but no, but yeah, so you can give it, so this will be an attribute of the tag. It's a character trait of the tag, right? Or you can have style. This would be your CSS. So a style attribute, you can give it certain styling properties. So for example, color. I can't spell, guys. Tells you how much sleep I've been getting. Color black. So, okay. So now the question is, how is this different? How are attributes different from what you guys were using in CSS, like background color, like I don't know, those kinds of things? How is this different? Yeah, Luke?
Because this only applies to a certain portion of, say, of all the P tags, it only applies to this P tag?
Yeah, at least in terms of style, right? And so these are attributes that you can give the tags. Okay, so Yeah, so the reason why I'm saying ID and classes are really important attributes of tags is because that's how we identify them in CSS. That's how we look at our CSS sheet and say, I want everything with this class to be a certain property. So anything with the class body, I want it to be red, for example, and etc., etc. I'll go more in depth as in the next slide. Okay, so now that we want to use CSS, right? So we've got one way. We can either do this way, or what we can do is we can actually have an entirely separate file, because eventually, by having a style attribute there all the time, is kind of it wastes a lot of space, right? So we have our HTML file here, and then we have a CSS file here. Oh, jeez, you can't see that. Wait, can you guys see this at all? No? Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm blind.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay, I got you. I got it. Oh, wait, is this?
You're in there to get blocked.
Nah? Can you guys see this? Okay. Okay. Calm down, guys. Oh, I like that. Okay, that works. No. Don't hit me.
Just do it.
No, I'm not going to
Shine
just
the
do it.
buck. Just do it.
Okay, anyways, no, this is fine. So we have two different files, right? We have our HTML file and our CSS file. But the browser only reached HTML. And that's a problem, right? How are we going to be able to tell the HTML what kind of styles we want if we have all of our styling on CSS? You guys talk amongst yourselves and then... Yeah.
You just put it inside the HTML file, link rel equals blah blah blah, or if you're gonna do JavaScript, it's script source equals that link.
Alright, over here. Angela, what do you think? Yeah, okay, that's good. What do you guys think? Nice, nice. Alright, over here. Yeah, so we need a link, right? So everybody, okay, this is good. Everybody's gotten this. So we need a link to link the two files together. So in your head, you need to, that sounds weird. In the head of your HTML file, you need to insert a link here. So then you have a link tag, and then inside you have an href attribute that says wherever your attribute is. So this was something that was causing some people some problems, because on your computer, ideally you want both of these files to be in the same folder, right? So you want them to be in the same folder. But what if I have a lot of CSS styling sheets? What if I have like 4 or 5 different CSS styling sheets? What do I want to do with them? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But for me, at least, I like to put things in folders. So I'll have like a CSS folder. Now, how do you access things within a folder? Do you guys know? Okay, nobody knows. That's good. So... No, stop. Anyways, so over here in your href, jeez, this is hard. In your href, you need to find it, right? So href equals. So let's say I have a CSS folder that I want to get into. So first thing we have to tell it, look in the CSS folder. So then we say, okay, CSS folder, awesome. So then the next step is we got to find it within this folder. So this is a folder called CSS. And then inside of the CSS folder, we need to link it to the exact styling sheet that we want. So in this case, let's just call it style, because that's what I like to call my style sheets. Style.css. All right. So is that kind of clear? Like, in order to, if you have files within folders, you have to first declare the name of the folder first. Okay, cool. That's awesome. All right. So how do you find your file? And then CSS. So basically CSS, if you guys haven't noticed already, it's all about creating rules for how we want our HTML tags to look. And this is the general formula for how you do it. So first, you type out your selector, meaning how do you actually choose what thing to give rules to, and then you have a bracket, and then inside those brackets you have all your rules. So in order to give those rules, first you have the property and then the values. So you guys talk to each other and give me an example of a selector. You guys can talk to each other.
height and then 100 pixels.
What to modify, or I can just pull it up on here. I can open like a single tab on the
That's a. I don't know if it's a color rules actually. That's like. Actually, no. I think that is. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because these are hex values, and then it's just like each row, and then yeah. All right. So, all right, going down. Over here, Vishali. What is a selector? Give me an example of one. If you need help, ask for help. Okay, that's cool. All right, hopefully. Ryan.
Class.
What? So what do you type?
Oh.
Ask if you need
Alright,
help.
what do you type for class? Oh, just like for class. Yeah. So just selector. Oh yeah, you type okay. It's font or color or any of the CSS.
Those aren't quite tags, or those aren't quite classes. I'll get into more about that. So over here, give me an example of a selector.
Like a class, so you would put like dot in the class name.
Yeah, okay, that's right. All right, so a selector is basically how do we select for the element that we want to change. So there's a couple ways you can do it. So over here they've mentioned tags. So that's really easy. So for example, we've got a body. This is all. That's all we need to type in. Okay, but if we want a class or ID, we need to use a special symbol to let CSS know that these are tags, or I mean these are IDs or classes. So to tell CSS that it's an ID, we use the hash symbol. Hash symbol, and then let's say home. So what does this mean? What does this ID mean? Talk amongst yourselves.
Anything that's tagged with that ID.
This is all CSS. Alright, I'm gonna finish it up real quick. Or oh wait, no, I keep thinking we end at 15. Oh, this is awesome. I still have a lot of time left. Alright. Yeah, anyways. Okay, so let's see. Ariana. Exactly. So it's going to go onto your HTML file, and then it's going to look for whatever has the ID home, right? So do you guys know how to assign IDs to tags? Trisha.
ID equals and then something equals.
Awesome. Okay. That's great. That's great. Okay. So then, in order to select a class, we need to do the dot operator. So then you put a dot, and then, for example, homepage. So over here, see Purdue. What is homepage going to select in your HTML document? Not quite. Ask around.
Alright, it will select anything in your HTML file that has the .home class on it. So whenever you add .home onto it, you will turn that into the .home style.
Okay, so tell me, what is it?
Anything that has the dot.
Typically, we don't name classes .home or .whatever. Only reason why we put a dot in front is to tell CSS that this is a class. So you don't actually type out home in your HTML document. This is only in CSS, everything that you see here. Is that clear? Okay, awesome. And I think, or actually, yeah, I'll give, so properties. So properties are pretty self-explanatory. You guys are already kind of hinting at them. Properties are things like colors, background colors, sizes, all that kind of stuff. And then you assign it to a value. Okay. Let's take a look. Alright, so that's about it for my review of CSS. I want you guys to kind of explore, like make some cool websites, and then we're going to present your websites at the end of this. But Because, so now I've got a question for you guys. What do you guys want to do after code camp?
Like after right now, like this hour, or
No, like after the 6 weeks.
Hey.
Ramya.
I
Code more? Okay, yeah. Awesome, we did our job. Alright, Ryan, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna go home and
So you
And
don't
maybe
go home for
forget
another
about
2
it.
weeks? Wait, you don't go home for another 2 weeks?
no, like when we're done, I don't know.
So you're saying you won't go home for another 2 weeks?
No, I live here.
Oh, that's actually pretty true. Oh, yeah. I'm not even going to argue that. Yeah?
We should just do stuff on Code Academy.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Lucas.
come back from my music camp because I'll be missing the last week.
Oh, I see, I see. Okay, that's interesting. Luke.
Go home and cry because code camp was the best thing that's
Darn, you guys saw that. Okay, so here are some of my ideas of what you guys can do. One, you can sleep at home and don't do anything at all, which I was quite talented at when I was in high school. Cry to yourself because code camp was the best thing that has ever happened to you, because that's definitely true. And then finally, you can sign up for our classes. So me, Sid, Surya, and Evan, we're actually going to be running some classes after code camp that you guys can go even more in depth into. So we just barely touched the surface of HTML and CSS, and we barely touched the surface of C++. So if you guys want to learn more of those, you guys can come to our classes, and we're going to convince you why. All right. So, intermediate C++. I'm going to be teaching this. Yeah, exactly. Intermediate C++. I'm going to be teaching this class. So, this class is exclusively for you guys. Not letting anybody else into this class because they don't have the background knowledge for this. So, reason why you want to learn C++ is because it's such a powerful language. Like, you guys might think, oh, it's easy to pick up Python, it might be easier to pick up Java, but in terms of computing power, C++ is one of the most powerful languages because it directly interacts with hardware, like memory space in your computer. So it's going to be a lot faster and it's going to be a lot more powerful. And that's why a lot of computing Olympiad competitions, they give less time to C++ because it takes less time for C++ to process all of that information. So in this course, I'll be going over a lot of advanced things. So first of all, I'm going to dive deeper into object-oriented programming. So I introduced you guys to functions. That's just the beginning of object-oriented programming. Then you have to actually create the objects that has all these functions. Then you can use that object. So for example, I can create a Pokemon object with catch Pokemon, or feed my Pokemon, or get coins, or something like that. So that's the concept of a class, and I'll go more into that into this class. And then I'll introduce you guys to data structures. So does anybody have like any idea what does the word data structures mean? You guys already know some.
linked lists, references, pointers, etc.
What are they?
They refer to a thing. They refer to a thing, but they're not the thing.
Okay, no, it's not. So basically, data structures. Data structures is a big fancy, like big fancy words that basically means how do we store data in our computer? Because you can't just magically store an integer. It has to be stored somewhere physically in your computer. And then what if we want to store multiple integers? How do we do that? How do we do that in the most efficient way? So I'm going to be introducing you guys to some basic data structures, such as a linked list, and these aren't exactly data structures, but they get into how data structures are created. So references and pointers. So references are like, how do you reference the memory location of a certain variable? Or pointers, how do I point to a certain memory location of a variable, and etc. So that's C++, and if you guys want to learn more, it's a very powerful language, and if you want to go low level, like assembly or machine code, C++ is a good one. Sid's crying, but yeah, don't anyways. So if you want to go, basically what I'm trying to say is, if you want to go low level, it's really easy for you to do because you've got that C++ background. But if you want to go high level, it's also pretty easy because it's kind of smack dab in the middle in terms of like levels of computing. So it's a pretty useful language to know. All right, so I know some of you guys are in high school and you guys are getting ready for junior year or senior year or whatever, and you guys haven't taken the AP Computer Science course, and a lot of you guys have been asking me, Daniel, how can I prepare? Like, I don't feel prepared enough. So I created a class just for you guys, and I'm actually working on all the package right now. So in this class, I'm going to be going over basically everything that AP Computer Science goes over, and if you're going to Amador, I'm using all the same projects that Mr. Hansen is, and you guys get a much deeper understanding of object-oriented programming and a lot of other things that, I'm sorry, Mr. Hansen doesn't do that great of a job. Yeah, she can, that all of us can kind of attest to that. We were his students, so this, yeah, so see, we've got endorsement here. So yeah, if you guys are about to go into AP Computer Science, this is a great course for you guys, because hopefully I actually teach material. Yeah, anyways. Okay, so here's the class that I like. So web design. So if you guys haven't noticed, I'm a web designer. It's really funny because the other day I bought a domain name, and then I've been getting calls and emails that, from web design companies asking me, hey, do you want to buy our new web design products? It's 75% off. I'm like, I'm a web designer, dude. What are you trying to sell me your product for? And then they're like, oh, sorry to bother you. I'm like, yeah, don't bother me. Anyways, so yeah, web design, it's a super useful skill. Even though you won't exactly use it in school or anything like that, if you put it on your resume, it's extremely attractive because companies spend thousands and thousands of dollars just to make small changes onto their website, and you can just do it for free for them, and that looks really attractive on a resume. And right now we only touch the surface of web design. So in this course, I'm not only going to teach you how to make a website, but also how to make it look good. And one thing that I've been kind of mentioning throughout the last 2 weeks is I'll teach you how to make responsive web design. So how do you make a website on a big laptop look good and on a small screen? Because if you guys didn't know, most websites are actually viewed on phones now rather than your laptop screens. So it's important to have it look good on a phone and on a large screen. And if you take this course, I'm actually going to take you through the process of building a website for a small business in Pleasanton. So you guys have that to look forward to. And after the course, you can actually show off that website and say, hey, I made a website for this small business. So, yeah. All right, any questions on those 3 courses? Yeah.
So in web design, will we get paid for it? Out of curiosity, will we get paid for it?
No, you will not. Unfortunately, you won't be paid for it because you guys are students. But here's the thing. Because we are trying to start, because me, Sid, Surya, and the rest of the Code Camp team, we're trying to make this into something bigger. If you guys keep taking our courses and keep improving as programmers, we will have hiring cycles for TAs, for content developers, and if you guys are actually good enough, we'll invite you on. And because, just ask Surya. He was actually my student 2 years ago, and look at where he is. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And let me just tell you that, this is such a great opportunity. Even I don't have the opportunity to make a website for an actual business, so take the opportunity. You're not going to regret it. I can tell you that right now.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
See, all of these guys are wishing for it.
You don't know how valuable this is, and you guys don't know how lucky you are. You have been given this opportunity, so take the meetup and all of us out of it.
So yeah, no, because it's so cool because, oh yeah, in other news, I got an interview at Apple. Yeah, so, and that's because I do web design. And, so if you guys haven't realized this already, web design is a very valuable skill. And if you have something to show for it, an actual small business website, then that just makes you that much more marketable. And Luke, you have a question.
Yeah, how many sessions will it be for each class?
So, oh yeah, these are pretty intense. So we're trying to get these out before the start of the school year. So all of these, besides one of them, are going to be 3 weeks long, and then you're basically going to be working with us every single day. But you should have a pretty cool product by the end of it. Yeah. And we have all the information in our emails and stuff. And once we have the cool website on board, you guys can check it out. And yeah. All right. So I think that's it. Those are the classes that I'm personally going to be teaching. And then I'll have Sid over here introduce the class that he's going to be teaching.
Okay, so I'm teaching Python, and yeah, Jack is taking it right now. So Python is great for your first language. It's a high-level language, so it's more closer to typing English. So really, you don't have to worry about all of the syntax, cout or system.out.print. You can just build whatever you want, solve any problem you want really fast without writing a lot of lines of code. In fact, to fight the C++ class, or to help it a little bit, many developers, when they build their products, they first build it in Python for about a month, and then they might spend 2 to 3 more days afterwards converting all that Python code to C++. Also, it's a great stepping stone to other languages, so it's really easy, right? But you can also use it in the professional world, and it also has lots of great documentation, so it's pretty easy to Google your questions. And there's lots of modules, so you can do a lot of animation, graphics, create games, connect to the web, whatever you want. And also, many industries and companies use it. There's 2 companies I'm thinking about right now. Does anyone want to guess them?
Google.
Google's one, yeah. And? Another guess?
Facebook.
Yep, Facebook. And a lot more companies use it. So I'm going to do a quick activity with you guys. So who here has heard of the Caesar cipher? Anyone? You guys? Alright. What is it?
It's a cipher. It's been used for a long time to encode messages.
Yeah.
I think it's you move a letter 3 letters back. I think of it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So let's choose the word like hello, right? And then we can shift the letters by a certain amount. We'll call it like n. So let's shift it by 3 letters. So what's like 3 letters after H?
Oh, I know this code. Okay.
What? Okay. K? L? I, J, K. It's K, right? And then what about E?
I?
Is it I?
No, wait, yeah.
H? Alright, what about L? O? And what about O? R? Alright, we got, I think this is a Indian last name, I think. So, you can send messages like that, right? So we can send Kur to someone, and they'll see like, oh, it's like a last name, right? What does this mean? So, what you really mean to say is hello, right? So we need a way. What if we created a program that could encrypt this, take hello, and make it a Kur? And what if we send it to someone else? They have a program which can decrypt whatever you gave them. So I want you to, with your groups, to think of like a way so you can like decrypt this message. There's 2 ways, and there might be a halfway. So just discuss among how you think you would break this code.
You can do -3, and you can do -3 shift. Or you can just do unless you don't know. No,
N equals 3, they type in like CN, X, CN, X, okay? CN, X, type in H, so it'll be like 926, okay? Only 1 letter. CN char, no, char X, CN X, and then X plus 3.
But what would you do if it was like Wi-Fi? Like, would you have to do negative? Would you do like negative? Like the person that you tell no, not a family.
Yeah, but this is like 1 person.
I mean, they could be like a negative.
Alright, I guess that's good. Alright, how about we start with you guys? Any idea?
You could assign like each letter to a number value and then tell the computer like after.
Yeah, you can do that, right? Is that all? Alright, yeah, that's one way. Anyone else has another way?
Ask the audience.
Hmm? similar to what you said? ASCII values? Assign a number? Alright, that's similar.
Wait, but ASCII values are like already assigned numbers, so you can like add one to the ASCII value once you count them when you receive it.
Still the
Yeah,
same
that would
concept.
work. We could put numbers to it, yeah. I'm thinking of different ways, like dumb ways and really genius ways. What about, okay, you have an idea?
Well, we were thinking that you can have different variables, kind of, so when you input a letter,
Yeah.
you can output another letter, and you can have like one letter assigned to another, so you have every letter of the alphabet
Yeah.
assigned to another letter.
Okay. Feel like that's similar. Okay.
Not bad though.
Like, you get the word right, and it's probably a string, so you have
Yeah.
to break up the string,
Uh-huh.
and then like you know, like just check the string for these alphabet letters.
Yeah.
But like, what if you try? I don't know. Like, what if you didn't know it set 3 letters back or something, so you have to try all of them?
Uh-huh.
That'd be really annoying.
Okay. Okay, all your answers, pretty good. I have some, like, other ways. Okay, so there's one thing called the dictionary attack. So what we can do is we can try, we can try every single possible combination, right?
Yeah.
Because there's only 26 letters, right? So that means there's only 26 different ends you could try to see, and you'll see like, oh, which sentence is correct. So say like, hello, we'll try like with 1, and it'll just be like, hello with like a shift at 1, right? And then hello shift at 2, 3, 4, 5. Or this would be 4. Sorry. And eventually it would go down the list all the way, and then you would find yourself somewhere and you get hello. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay, so, but you can even make this better, because why look at 26 different possibilities with your own eyes when you can just have your program figure it out for you? So what you can do is you can have a whole dictionary on the side. You can have your program reference that dictionary and see if those words actually exist in the dictionary, right? And then you got your answer, hello, because that's in the dictionary, right? Yeah.
Or to be some word that could evaluate to some change word depending on the.
Yeah, so this is a good thing to know. The more words you have, the better chance you are to break it, and the more accurate you are. So that's one way. Another way is by knowing that, do you know what is significant of the letter E?
What's the most common letter?
Exactly. So if you have a big paragraph, you can look through the code, find the letter that's most common, and then assign it to E. And then the next most common letter is A. So you can keep on doing that, and with the bigger amount of text, the better accuracy you'll get in breaking your program. Yeah.
Someone wrote a whole story on it.
Really?
Yeah. Either E or I.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so now we did our activity. Well, this is one of the activities we'll do in our class. One more thing. Alright. Bear with me with this picture.
That's a great.
This is you, right? You're surrounded by this box.
No.
You're limited to what you can do. But what if you could get outside of the box? Oh my god. You're like at a new frontier, right? So what do you think you can do, right? Because this is your computer, right? Your programs right now in C++, you haven't been able to interact anything except yourself and maybe some of your friends. But what if you can access the internet? Oh man. What if you can access other computers, right? So instead of just having an encryption and decryption program on your computer, you can like send code to other computers. And that's more of what we'll do. We'll be able to access the web, and we'll be able to access other computers to do whatever we want, like play games with each other, over our computers. Yeah, it'll be pretty fun. Trisha already signed up for the class.
Yeah.
You want to
Okay,
be
that's
with
awkward.
something cool and amazing? Someone cool and amazing? Sign up for my class. So yeah, I'll leave it to Surya. Take over his class.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Okay. Okay, I will be teaching Unity. Unity is one of the most powerful game engines, is widely used. Thousands of apps like on the App Store are Unity apps. For example, you guys have probably heard of Crossy Road. That's made in Unity. It's really easy to use Unity, and it's easy to learn, and it uses C#, which is really closely related to C++. And now you guys all know basics of C++. It's all you guys need to use for this. So in this, in Unity, you can make a whole bunch of games, like 3D games, 2D games. You can have interactions, and once you create your game, you can export it to your computer, Xbox, like Wii. You can export it to mobile devices too. So it's really easy to learn, and once you make your app, you can always post it on the App Store and all too. Yeah, so this course is going to be 2 weeks long, and I will teach you all the basics you need to create your own game, and I'll help you on your own games as well. Thank you. Sign up.
Clearly, the third point is the best point on this
Yeah.
list. Let's be real here.
Yeah. Alright, before I let you guys go, I just want to ask you guys a question. Why are you guys learning coding? You guys already been here for how many weeks? 5 weeks? Yeah, it's almost over. Why are you guys learning coding? Tell me. Over here.
So you can hack stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys haven't noticed, I haven't taught you guys that yet. So, Vishali.
Because it looked fun. It's like a,
Okay, that's an honest answer. But, I mean, why now? Why are you still learning how to code? Think about that. Take a minute to think, why now? Like, why do I still want to learn how to code? Okay. Cool. Why?
Because coding is like everywhere, and it's going to be a really valuable thing to know.
Okay, that's a decent answer. That's a nice answer. But I want something a bit more personal. That's good though. Ryan, why are you learning how to code?
It was just because, I don't know, it looks fun, and then like everybody uses it. Point is, it looks fun, so why not try it?
Okay, not a bad answer. Cool.
Well, it's an extremely applied subject. You can immediately make a website, or you can immediately write your own interesting, intricate programs. But if you're even like in math or something, you can do a math competition, but it's not as hands-on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that answer. That's a pretty good answer. Yeah, Jeff?
Basically what everyone else said, but personally I just wanted to get started.
Just gonna get started early. Yeah, if you guys listen to our guest presenters, most of them didn't even start until college, right? I didn't start until high school. So, yeah.
I always have been interested in computers, and so I always want to learn about coding and stuff. And also, everything like nowadays requires like code experience, like in reading new code experiences.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like that answer. That's good. Okay, Wendy, I'm kind of scared what you're going to say, but yeah, tell me.
Okay, so if you learn coding, you can better make fun of people who don't know how to code.
Exactly.
I never, if anybody asks, I never raised you guys this way.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. Anybody else here? Lucas, why do you want to learn how to code?
Okay, so I want to learn how to code because I'm really starting to notice like how much habitat destruction is kind of affecting the wildlife here. So I want to like create a website to like raise awareness.
And that's why he got into Code Camp. He wrote that on his application, and I really like that. So here's the thing. What everybody's been saying has kind of a common theme, right? You want to use it because it's a skill that's going to allow you to be creative, allows you to be you, right? So I think I'm really glad that nobody said that, oh, I want to learn it because it's going to get me a job in the future. If you're thinking that way, then you're quickly going to get disinterested in coding. So constantly remind yourself, even if it isn't coding, ask yourself, why are you learning this subject? Like, if you have no genuine interest in the subject, why are you doing it? Like, for me, like, it didn't hit me until I was taking AP Chemistry. Like, I was doing so badly in that course. I was, like, struggling with a B, like B minus, maybe it was almost a C at some point. Like, I was constantly asking myself, why am I learning AP Chemistry? And then I realized, I was learning AP Chemistry because it was an AP class. And I realized that's not the right reason why you should learn something. Right? You should learn something because you're genuinely curious about that subject. Because you wonder how is data stored? How do you make a website? How do you interact with users? How do you make multiplayer games, right? These should be the motivating reasons why you're learning a subject. And I'm really glad that today you guys are saying, like, I wanted to learn it because it looked fun or because it looked cool, instead of like, oh, it's going to get me a job in the future. Right? I saw a lot of those on other CodeCamp applications, and obviously you don't see them here now. And I just want you guys to like take away from this course that I want, regardless of what subject you guys pursue in life, do it because you truly, truly have a passion for it, not because it looks good for somebody else. Because we have too many of those people in the world. Like, there are companies like Qualcomm creating their own schools because they realize that our school system only produces people who are willing to make workers who appease their managers or appease their like co-workers. They don't do things for themselves. So make sure, constantly ask yourself, why am I learning coding? Why am I learning this subject? And to say, I'm learning it because I want to make myself a better person. And this is the true reason why I wanted to start CodeCamp. I didn't want to just have you guys come in here, learn a bunch of skills, and then forget about it. Because then I would have wasted my time, you would have wasted your time, and we would have gotten anywhere. But if I was able to inspire you to find out why you did CodeCamp, and you guys continue to learn coding after the course because you still have that reason why you're learning it, then I've succeeded. I don't care how much you remember from my course, if you still remember why you did CodeCamp and why you want to learn coding, you're going to take yourself far beyond whatever I was able to take you within these 6 weeks. And maybe you'll end up like me, a web developer at maybe Apple. So, yeah, all right. Yeah, thanks, guys. And we're still having discussion sections, same time tomorrow. And Wednesday, it's going to be at 3:30 to 4:30 again. So, yeah, thanks for bearing with me, guys.